the session. So thank you. You're welcome. You can start up now.
All right. This is just to note that this class is being recorded, so for the sake of privacy, the video is going to be published afterwards. So your image, your video is going to be recorded with the class, just for. Uh, uh, okay, so let's proceed. Today's session was supposed to be question and answer, and then I was planning to take a class as well. So maybe I should start. If you have any question about the past class, um, just let me know. Any questions so far about the previous class that we've had so far. So just let me know. At any point in time, I can pause and then answer this question. But for the meantime, let's proceed with today's class. Um, okay, so today's class is going to be basically what I'll be treating today is a while loop. Okay, 1 minute. Let me pull up my camera so that can just want to make sure that I set it in a way that everybody can see my video while also sharing my screen. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. So today's session we're gonna do a while loop. So I think we've covered for loop, right? Or in our last class we covered for loop and what loop can do for us. So we'll be diving into while loop today. And then what is a while loop? A while loop is a loop in Python repeatedly executes a target statement as long as given condition is true. So what I want us to pay attention is um, target statement, given conditions, and right here true. So there is a target statement, which means we have to write a statement, right? And then we have to give some conditions. In our last class as well, we dealt with conditions. So which means, and the example that I gave in the last class was that take this money, help me to go and buy Fanta. Take this 100 naira, help me to go and buy Fanta. If the Fanta is 100 naira, buy it. But if the Fanta is not 100 naira, if it is 120, then buy me a biscuit because a biscuit is, the price of a biscuit is, cheaper. So that is a condition. I'm giving the person a condition. If the Fanta is 100 naira, which means the condition is true, buy it. If not, then do other thing else. So it is used for performing indefinite iteration, which is when the number of time the loop we execute isn't a split in advance. Yeah, so we use it for iterations, but we're going to understand it. But we should understand the meaning of loop now according to our previous class. But this particular loop is while loop. So why do we use it? The idea for situations where you need to loop until a particular condition change. So while I can say that while loop, do this thing while, just the way we always use while in a English statement. Same way in Python, while this thing is true, do this. In as much as this particular condition is true, do this until the condition is no more true, right? So why the condition is true, do this until the condition is not true. But we are going to understand better when we dive into our writing of code. So let's go into our writing of code. I hope that is clear for the while loop. Yeah, but if it is not clear, I'm here for question today. Or else we can listen over and over again. It's going to get more clearer. So let's do some practical. And remember, this is my Visual Studio Code that I asked us to download for our code writing. So our number one practical, let's check this code. This code is, I said count. We should know what this count means now because of the equals to that is in front of it. This is a variable. So we're telling assigning one as our variable, right? Because of this equals to. So I said count equals to what? Is equal to one. So if I do count is equal to one, then I said print count. It means it's going to print one for me because the one is the variable now. The count now is one, right? But let's continue with the code. I said count is equal to one. While, because we are dealing with while loop, right? So while count is equal or less than 5. Remember this, I dealt with this last in our last class, so you can check our last class. All this equals to, greater than, lesser than, or equal or lesser than. I dealt with that in our last class. So I said while count is lesser or equal to 5, print count. We now did count plus equals to 1. So what do we think this code is gonna, what do we think the output of this code is gonna be? Mere looking at it, let's just try to interpret it. What do we think the output of this code is gonna be? Because we said count is equal to 1. This is a variable. We're assigning the variable right here for 1, which is a count. Then this is our while loop right here, which we are trying to learn. We say while the count, what is the count? Is 1. Is equal or lesser than 5, print count. We are printing this now. So if this statement is not there, right here, if this is not there and this is not there, what I just did right now was to comment that out. So if I run this program, Python is gonna ignore this line 2 and line 4. So if I print this right now, what I'm gonna get is 1, because I said count is 1, which is variable is 1 already. So I now said print count is going to print 1. But now we are infusing our while loop. We're saying while count is less or equal to 5, then we should print the count. Then we now add the addition right here. So let's try to run the code and see. So this is our result right here. So this this program is to count the numbers, right? Is to count number from number 1 to 5. So what it basically does is we're counting a number. Count equals to 1 is starting from 1. So while count is less or equals to 5, then we should print the count. Then we now add the addition to add in the addition of 1. Then it's going to print 1 to 5. So let's say 10 right here. And let's try to run the program again. Boom, it's going to count 1 to 10 because obviously 1 is less or equals to 10, right? So it's going to run the program. It's going to count the numbers from 1 to 10. So you can try this code, practice it, just run it and see. Like I mentioned, practice is what can help you in this course. Practice, practice, practice. Also, I have another example for us. Let's try another example. This one is very interesting. The examples that I have today, they are very interesting. So let's clear this out from our screen. Let me find a way to post this. So let's clear this out from our screen so we can have an empty. So this is another program, right? So let's take a look at this program as well. Prompts. I think I dealt with prompts the other time. I think I did. So I said prompt equals to enter a message, type exit to stop. Now this is a string. We remember this is a string right here because it's into quotation mark. Um, our message is empty right here. There is nothing inside this string. I now said while the message not equal, that's why we should check the, like, we should be able to know all these operations now because I dealt with them last in our last class. So this operation right here is exclamation mark in Python means not, then equals to means is equals to, right? So is not equal to exit. Why the message? This message right here, we said prompt. This is a prompt. It's going to prompt you. What does this mean? This prompt is a function. Is going to prompt the user when we run it, right? So we now said while this message, we leave it empty. The reason why we leave it empty is because after it prompt the user, is going to allow the user to type in something. I'll give us an example. Let's say you want to type in your password. You visited any website, maybe Gmail or Yahoo Mail or any website. When you get to the website is going to prompt you to input your username and password. It's going to provide you a box where you can input your username. So this is the function they always use because it's going to prompt you to enter something, right? So, and it's a good thing we are learning it. So prompt means it's going to prompt the user to do something. It's going to, the program we ran before, this one, it does not prompt us to do anything. It just gave us the output of the program, right? We ran this program, it prints number 1 to 10 for us because the way we wrote the code, right? So, but this program right here is going to prompt the user. So let's continue reading the code and interpret the code. Prompt, enter a message, type exit to stop. This is a string. This does not have anything to do with the code, right? I mean, Python does not, this particular string does not execute because it's in quotation. So the message right here is empty because we have to, that's the space where we have to type in our message when the system prompts us to type something. So now this is our while loop. So while message is not exit, why the message we're typing right here, because this space right here is empty, right? We leave it blank. So this blank, this is a blank space for us. Just like the way that we will get to any website, the place where we're going to type our password, our username is blank, right? So we're leaving it empty right here. And then while the message, this message right here, why this message is not equals to exit, message equals to input. So input function means is a function that we allow user to input a test, anything on a computer, right? If message, we're in line 8 right now. If message is not exit, print, you enter message. Now remember, this is a variable, like I mentioned in our class 2 or class 1, that a variable, we can call our variable, right? We can always call our variable. So since this message right here is a variable, so we are calling, there is someone typing on the screen, so let me try to clear that. So you can try to clear it so that it won't affect our clear drawing. Okay, nice. So we're back here. So this is a message, this is a variable. So we are calling the variable right here. As you can see, if I click on this message, it's gonna highlight the rest of the variable, the rest of the message, that's the rest of the variable that we assign. But right here, the variable is empty. There is nothing right here in the variable. We remember variable, like if I say, oh, the bread equals to 10. So if I want to get a variable of this bread right now, if I said print bread, it's going to print 10 for me, right? Because we have assigned 10 as a variable. So this message is a variable, and we now said while message is not equals to exit, message equals to input. We are prompting the user to enter our input right now. So if message, this variable right here, the variable right here, is not exit, print you entered message. So can you just guess what this program is going to do mere looking at it? So let's try to check. Let's try to take a look, because that's one thing that this course is going to do for you. You will be able to see any code even without running the code, to check what can this code does. What does it do? So the message right here is the variable is empty. We now said why the message is not exit. If the message is not exit, message is equal to input is going to prompt the user to input something. So if the message is not exit, you should print you enter the message that we typed. Do we get it? Okay, let's try to run it. Well, we understand it after we run it. So run. So do you see what we get on the screen? It said enter a message, type exit to stop. So same thing, like I mentioned in Python. Python run line by line. In Python, a line have to finish executing before it proceeds to the next line. So there is something stopping us right here, which is this prompt. As you can see, it said prompt, enter a message, type exit to stop. So it's asking us to enter a message right here. He said enter a message, type exit to stop. So if we enter any message, let's just say Michael. So the reason why we are able to type this Michael is because of this prompt and this input function that we included in our code. So if I type Michael and I hit enter, see what it said. It said you entered Michael. So why does it show you entered Michael? Because after he executed, after the Python executed this line of code, this first line that it said type any message, right? And it gets here and it said print you entered this message that we type, because this message right here is empty, right? This variable is empty. Now we are giving Python this Michael and is returning it back to us according to this print statement right here. So this code is doing two things. One, it's asking us to type something, but because what we are typing is not exit, it's going to keep asking us to enter an input. So if I enter anything else, Terrapo, it's going to tell me you enter Terrapo. But there's something, if I enter exit, boom, the program is going to end. Why? Because I've included right here that while statement, that while the message, if the message is not exit, print whatever the user type, print it on the screen. But that means I said why the message is not exit. So what if the message is exit? Is going to end the program. Do we get it? Just the example that I gave that helped me to go and buy Fanta. If Fanta is 100 naira, buy it. So same thing. If the message that the user enter is exit, kills the program. But if not, call me and tell me that they said Fanta is not 100 naira. They said Chin Chin is 20 naira. They said Granite is 20 naira. Um, okay, I'm getting notification that that Zoom is gonna lock me out in 9 minutes. Okay, so let's run to cover that. But this is a very interesting program. We can try that. We can try the program. Uh, so let's continue. So try this program, try and run it, and try it. It's very interesting. So let's go to another example. This one is very interesting. I really love this program while I was writing it. I love this program while I was writing it. So let's try to read this program as well. Um, so we are trying to combine while loop and if statement in this program. So we first assign our variable. What we did right here was to assign our variables. I said password equals to exit. This is a variable, right? We're assigning this variable secret as password. So that means if we prompt Python that what is password, it's going to tell us the password is secret because we have assigned secret as password variable. Remember variable, assigning something to something that you can call that thing. You can call your variable anytime you need your variable. So we have assigned password as secret. We now said attempt, we leave it open, right? We now said attempt left. Attempt left is a variable as well, is 3. Remember, anything that has to do with alphabet, it's a string, you have to put a quotation to it. And then anything that has to do with uh, digits, it's you don't have to put quotation, because if you have to put quotation right here, it's gonna turn into string, right? So this is not a string. This is integer. So attempt left is equals to 3, right? So we have assigned attempt left as our variable 3. We have assigned 3 as attempt left. So now let's deal with the program right here. We said while attempt left is greater than 0 and attempt is not equal to password. This program is very interesting. If we see the output of this program, we're gonna love it, right? So I said while attempt left. What is our attempt left? What is the variable of our attempt left? Because remember, we've assigned, check this variable that we have assigned right here. Our attempt left is 3 and our password is secret. Our attempt is empty, right? It is empty. Note that. So we said while attempt left, what is our attempt left? 3 is greater than 0 and attempt is not equals to password. Okay, do we understand the meaning of that? We're going to get it. So attempt equals to input. So remember this input function. What do we use input function to do? We use it to prompt user to enter something on the screen. Same way, if you go to any website, they will ask you what is your username, what is your password. The function they always use is input. So now we are adding this input so that it can allow user to enter something while the code is running. So the input will ask us, what is your password? That's what the input will ask us. Now we are moving further, line 10. We said if attempt, what is our attempt? Our attempt is empty, right? Remember, our attempt is empty. So if attempt, and remember right here in the line 9, we said our attempt is empty. So we are allowing user, because it's empty, we are now allowing user to input something in that attempt that is empty. Because right here, we are not assigning any variable for the attempt. But password, we've assigned something for the password. Attempt left, we assign a variable for the attempt left. But our attempt is empty. We leave it empty. So because we leave it empty, there is nothing to it. We now put an input function in front of it so that it will allow the user, what does the input function do? Allow user to type in something, so that it will allow user to type in something on that thing that is empty, right? So attempt is equal to input. So if attempt is not password, what is our password? Variable. Remember the password of our variable. What password do we assign? What variable do we assign for the password? Right here. What variable do we assign for the password? Right here is secret. So we now said attempt less minus it equals to 1. That is, it should be minus in it. What is our attempt left? Our attempt left is 3. So that means if we try the attempt, the program is going to prompt us to enter something. And if the attempt is not this, is not password, is not this variable of this password that we entered, the attempt left, because the attempt left is 3, is going to minus 1. That means this 3 is going to turn to 2, right? Because it's minusing 1. Then it's going to print wrong password, attempt left. Okay? What is this attempt? It's going to print this attempt left. Because right here, the attempt left is not going to be 3 again, because we have minus it 1. It's going to show the remaining of the attempt left. Else, what is this else? Else statements means if this condition is not true, if everything we've said here is not true. So what would make all this thing not true? What can make it not true? Only if we enter the right password. So that means whenever this thing prompts us that attempt, enter your password, and we enter this right thing, okay, it's going to give us this, is going to print this on the screen for us, that access granted. Okay, if we run this program, we're going to get it. I have 2 minutes more, but after 2 minutes, I can create another Zoom link, right? So moving further, if attempt left is equal to 0, so that means if the attempt left, if you are entering wrong thing, and then it's now, you remember the attempt left right here is 3, and then we have told the program to always remove 1, deduct 1 from it anytime we enter something that is not correct. So if we now get to 0 afterward, it will print account locked. So let's try to run the program. We'll get it. So run. Right here, it asks us enter your password. So all these things are variable. Python is going to ignore them because they are variable, right? So right here, it is prompting us enter your password because of this input function that is there. I told us, what does input function do? It prompts user to input something on the screen. Same way you would want to log into your email, it will ask you enter your password, username before you proceed. So same way, Python is stuck now. It's asking us input something before we can proceed to run the program. So input, enter your password. So what password should we type? Let's type January, for example. If I hit enter, it's going to tell me, because I said if attempt is not this password that we have assigned. If attempt is not this password that we have assigned, it should print what? Wrong password. And immediately it print wrong password, is going to remove 1 from this attempt left. That's why it said wrong password, 2 attempt left. So now it prompts us again, enter a password. Let's say we enter YouTube again and we hit enter. It tells us wrong password. Why is it telling us wrong password? Because we have assigned a variable of a password that that Python should accept from us, which is a secret, right? Same way, if you assign your password, you've created your password, you want to log into your email, and then you are trying to log in. This is the same thing you're going to be getting. Okay, so 1 minute while I would just create, while I would just create. No, let me log out from this. Um, I'm just gonna log out and see switch accounts. Let me log into this. Maybe it's gonna allow me. Um, Hold on, new meeting. Yes, I will send the new link now. So the guys, minimize this, copy new link. Uh, where is invite? Copy invite. So I'm sorry, guys. We'll continue with our meeting. Let me just send it to the group. Okay, so hopefully people can join us while we are waiting for them so that we can continue with the class. So disable this and then share my screen. So let me still leave that for now. Let me just do keep on top. So yes, like I was explaining, so he said wrong password, attempt left, one attempt left. So if we enter another password, let's say we enter another wrong password, because right here it has told us wrong password, one attempt left. So if we do another laptop and enter your password, and if we input another password laptop and we press enter, it's going to tell us account locked, right? Because of this statement right here. If attempt left is equals to 0, print account locked. That means in everything we've done so far, we are not able to input the right password. So let's run the program again. Run. Now it's telling us enter a password. Let's say we put Monday. Enter. It tells us wrong password, 2 attempts left. So let's now say we enter the right password, say create, right? And we now press enter. It's going to show access granted. Why? Because of the statement that we wrote right here, that else print access granted. Hope we get it. So this is a very interesting program that we can try by ourselves. Let's try to run it by ourselves. Um, so let's try another one. Let's try this. So let's try this. So what does this program does? It's a countdown timer with countdown timer. So what we do right here, we remember this is a module that we imported, right? Module or library. We imported time. In my class 3 thereabout, I taught about importing something, importing what somebody else has wrote, code that somebody else has wrote, or something that came with Python library. So we imported this time. We now said start equals to integer, input, enter the starting number for the countdown. So start is equals to what? Integer, because whatever we want to put should be integer, right? Integer is number. So this input function, remember, is going to allow user to input something on the screen, right? So, and this is the message that's going to show while it prompts user to input something. This is a string. So moving forward, we now said while the start time, the start, what is start? Start is the number that we input. Because we are leaving it empty right here is empty. It's we that we are going to input the variable. Start is a variable, right? So, but it's empty right here. It is our input that will be our variable. So we said while this start, any number that we input is greater than 0, print the start. That means print the variable. Then time.sleep. Okay, I want to run this program first before the. I want to run this first. Before. Okay, but they are pretty much the same. So time.sleep. Pause for 1 second. Start -1. Remove the number. Remove 1 from the start, and then print time up when the number is up. So let's try this program. Let's clear this out. Okay, so let's run this program. This is a very interesting program as well. So let's say we enter 5, because right here it prompts us enter the starting number for the countdown. Start, it's a variable, right? But what is in our variable? Our variable is empty, but we want something to be imputed in our variable, right? And this input function, remember, input function allow user to input something on the screen. And we enter 5. Let's hit enter. That is going to start the countdown. You see, so it started from 5. So this while loop, while start is greater than 0, right? Print the start, print the number. Then this function is just for it to. So if we remove this function, it's just going to show boom on the screen, right? So let's try it. If we remove this function, it's just going to show all the numbers at once. So, but this time.sleep for 1 second, it will allow it to pause, the counting it down, right? So let's remove it like I said. Let's run the program again. We'll see the difference. So 5, enter. You see, it's just run the program, just show all the number. It just did a countdown. So if you don't want to see it counting, maybe you want it to do countdown of 1 million number, right? You can just remove these code right here, and you're gonna get a countdown of the 1 million number. Any number you input right here as your variable. But it just looks so interesting, just to see it to be counting down. So let's run through this code again so that we can understand it. So the reason why we imported this time was because we used time right here. You remember, we imported this time because if we are to write this code ourselves, what made it to be, dropping one by one, if we are to write it ourselves, we're going to write a lot of code for us to achieve that thing. But somebody else has wrote the code, or it came with Python library, so we can just import that time, this time function. We can just import it and take advantage of it. So let's run through this program one more time. So we said start right here. Start is a variable. We said our start is equals to. So if we add, let's comment this out. If we have said our start is 5 or 10, if we have said this, it won't prompt us to enter a number, right? That means we have assigned something for the Python itself. Let's try to run this code. Do you see? It just said 10, right? So it didn't prompt us to enter any number. It didn't prompt us because of this function now, this input function, it's what always prompts us to enter enter number. So so let's enter code, and you see it's just counting down from, but we can end this program. So so start, we did start right here. So we did start right here. Start is equals to integer. That is to say, we want to the number we want to enter is an integer. Integer is a number. We now said the Python program should prompt us prompt us to enter number. Then why the start? What is the start? The start is the variable that we created right here. So if the number that we input is greater than 0, of course the number is going to be greater than 0, right? Print the start, then sleep for 15 seconds. Let's change this to 1 second, because as you can see, it is sleeping for 15 seconds. It is waiting 15 seconds before it prints another before it run the program. So start -1, remove one from this start. What is our start? Start is our variable. Then print time up when the number is 0, right? So let's try this program as well. Let's run it, and practice, 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 and practice. That's how we can scale through in this course. So I still have one more example for us. Um, so after that example, there is an assignment that I'll give us. So okay. So try the program, see how the program works, and then you can change the number right here after it prompts you to enter a number. Change the number. For example, it says, let's try to run the program again. Let's clear this out. So what if we enter 20 and we hit enter? So it's going to keep counting 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. And we can try to tweak this as well. This is 1 second. You can tweak it to maybe 2 seconds. So it's going to wait for 2 seconds before it prints it out for you. And if you comment this out, it's not gonna count down. It's just gonna boom, show you the number. So let's try this last one. Let's try this last one. This is like a game. I created this. I love games. So I love creating game codes. So let's try this. So right here we imported random. So remember, this is an import, is a library function that we use. We imported random. So what does random library does, or module? It will generally generate a random number. So let's clear this out. So we now said target number. Target number is a variable, right? Target number is equal to random dot round integer. So we are setting, remember, we are not setting a variable per se for this target number as a variable. We are not setting a variable per se. We are just setting it as a random. So we now said the random should be from 1 to 20, right? From 1 to 20. So in Python, if we want to like say that any number is from this number to this number, we don't use minus like this, because minus means minus in Python. So we do comma. So Python recognizes as from 1 to 20. We now said guess is equal to none. We said while guess. So this guess is empty, right? So We now said while guess is not target number, while guess is not target number, guess is equal to integer, impute the guess number between 1 to 20. If guess is lesser than target number, this one is very interesting. Print too low, try again. If else if is another conditional statement. Else if guess is greater than target number, print too high, try again. Else print congratulations, you guess the number, right? So this program is very interesting, right? Because Python is just gonna play with our brain. Python is gonna play with our brain. So let's try to run this program. Then after that, we will interpret it. So he said, guess the number from 1 to 20. This is like a game. He said we should guess any number. Let's say we enter 5 and we boom, enter. It's gonna say too low, try again. So Python know the number that he wants in his mind because we've said Python should help us to store this target number in a variable. And we are not assigning anything inside this variable. We are telling Python the number should be from 1 to 20. Just keep that number in your mind. Keep the number in your mind, Python. If we guess it correctly, tell us that, hey, the number is correct. If the number is too low to the number you have in your mind, tell us that the number is low. If the number is too high, if you enter any number and the number is too high, tell us that A, the number is high. But whenever we get the number correctly, tell us that A, congratulations. So we don't know the number that Python has choose. We just told Python that, A, Python, choose any number from 1 to 20 and keep it in your mind. If we get the number correctly, tell us congratulations. If we enter the number and the number is too low, tell us that, hey, the number you enter is low. You see, it's a very wonderful game. So we've guessed 5 and said the number is too low. Try again. Let's say 6. He said the number is too low again. Try again. And he said we should guess from 1 to 20. Let's try 20. So the number that Python choose is 20, right? The number that Python choose is 20. Let's try it again. Let's run the program again. And this time, the number you choose at first is not going to be the number it's going to choose again because this thing is random, right? It's just going to pick any number randomly whenever we run the program. So let's run the program again. Let's choose 3. Enter this number 3. It said it's too low. Now let's try the 20 we tried the other time. 20. It said too high. Try again. So that means Python has choose another number in Python mind. Python has store another number. So what number should we guess again? Let's guess 19. So 19 was the number that Python chose. Then in your mind, you might be thinking that, oh, first one, it choose 20. Second one, it choose 19. Maybe the next one is going to choose 18. Let's try. Maybe it's going to choose 18. Let's put 18. It said too high. Now, it's because that thing is random. It has stored another number, right? And then it's asking us to guess. So if 18 is too high, that means 19 is going to be too high as well. And 20 is going to be too high as well. Because it tells us that 18 is too high. So if we try 1 is too low. That's above 17. 17 is too high. So what number should we try again? But that number is between 1 and 20. It has stored that number. What number should we try? 15? Let's try 15. 15 is too high as well. So let's try 4. 4 is too low. You see that, so that means that number, the number you choose now is between 5 and 14. So let's try 14. 14 is too high. Let's try 5. 5 is too low. Let's try 6. 6 is too low. Let's try 13. This one is very hard to get now. 13. 13 is too high. So that number is between 7 and 12. Let's try 7. That 7 is too low. Let's try 8. 8 is too low. So what number does Python choose? 8 is too low and 13 is too high. So what number should we try? Should we try 12? 12 is too high. This one is very hard to guess now. So the number should be around 9 to 11. So let's try 11. Woo! 11 is our number. So you can try this code, try this game. It's a very wonderful code that I wrote. So just try it. So the reason why we are guessing the number was because we told Python that, hey, Python, help us to choose a random number. We don't want to know the number. We just want to know that we just want to guess. But what if we don't we what if we we want to input a number ourselves? Yes, we can input a number ourselves. We can just do target number equals to, let's comment this out. Let's do target number equals to, or let's say 20. 20 is our target number, right? So let's run this program. So choose a number between, so if we enter any number, it's not as in 8, 19, 20, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are not gonna, this one is not about guessing now, right? This one is not about guessing now. This one is we have assigned a number to the variable until we enter the 20. Now, if we enter the 20, it's going to say congratulations, because it is us assigning that, hey, Python, this is the number. They must guess this number correctly. If they don't input 20, there is no chance for them to get it. Now we know the number that we've assigned. Let's say the number is 15, right? Now the number is 15. Let's run the program. The number is 15 now. So if we input any number and that is not 15, we are not going to get it correctly because it's not random. We assign the number ourselves. But the reason why I don't want us to input the number ourselves is because for us it's interesting, right? To just guess what Python store in that variable so that we can play the game.